All right, so now I'm going to show you how to fill out the resume portion for Chapter 11. So usually what happens is when you apply for a job, you fill out a job application as well as submit a. Some of the stuff is going to be redundant. Redundant means like repeating, saying it over again. But you still need to know how to do a resume. It's a very important skill. So what I have done is I have supplied you with a template that all you need to do is type over your information. So I'm going to go through again section by section and show you how to fill this out. So again, feel free to pause me at any time so that way you can type it out. Rewind me if you need to, go back, play it as many times as you need to. This is at your pace. So for the very top section, you need to change two places for your name. Over here on the left, you need to change it to your name. Now, you just have to be a little careful too because the formatting might mess up a little bit, like things might move around and you can fix it. You just have to kind of like tab or spacebar or erase. So you're going to put first and last name there, and then you're going to come over to the first section, and this is your personal information. So again, you're going to put your information, your street address. I'm going to use the school. It's already Wasco, California 93280. Put the zip code for where you live. I know some of you live in Lost Hills. And then here's the phone number. So again, it can be your personal cell phone, your house number, your parents' number, whatever. It doesn't matter. Again, this is for class. I'm not actually going to be calling these numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the school phone number, and then you're going to put your email address. Now it already has the @Wasco, so all you have to do is complete the first part. Okay, first part is done. It's completed. That's it for the first section, just your information. Now we're coming to skills. Now we have covered skills a lot in this class, in the previous chapters. So you have a couple of options of what to do for this section. Okay, you can go back to my 10-year plan, go through your chapters and look for what skills you listed down in the previous chapters and just type them over here in this section. That is one way. A second thing you can do is Google job skills and see what pops up and then pick the ones that apply to you. The third thing you could do is look for a job that you're actually interested in, like a job placement. That means like there's a job being flown. That means you can apply to it. And under the description, it'll tell you like what skills you need or what you'll be doing on the job. So then you could just pull out the things that apply to you and you can list them here. So for example, I'm just going to go off of teaching. For teaching, I have clerical skills. I have technology skills. I have keyboarding skills. And you have to list 6 skills at minimum. So here we go. And then I have video, 2 lesson plans. Lesson plans. I'm going to do creating. If I can fix my font, my lowercase, uppercase, creating lesson plans. Another skill I'm going to put down is flexibility with learning. And the last skill I'm going to put down is time management skills. There, I have 6 skills. Now, please do not just copy what I put down. You need to put down different ones. I will be looking, and if you just copied mine, you're going to get a 0 on this section. Okay? Now, if the formatting is bugging you, you can just like hit the space bar until, they're like lined up and they look nice. Now we're going to go to the experience section. Now this is where it's going to be difficult for most of you because most of you have not worked somewhere. Some of you, like I mentioned in the previous video, might have like a family member who owns like a store or restaurant or something and you've gone to help them. So you can list that. Maybe you mow lawns, you can list that. Most of you, however, are probably going to list something like chores for your parents, or your school work. You can even list being an athlete. Like being an athlete is a job. Maybe some of you are parts of clubs and you're like president, vice president, secretary, whatever. You can list that as a job as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be financed related, as in like you don't necessarily have to get paid for it. So what you're going to do is follow um, the structure that it says here. So you're going to put the job title, you're going to put the employer, and then the phone number or email for that person. Again, if it's a teacher or a coach, you can put, the school email and the school phone number. If it's like your parents, you can just put their, your house number and their email if they have one. And then you're going to tell me how many years you work there, the location. Most of you should just show Wasco, and then a 1 to 2 sentence summary of what your job duties were. Job duties are like, what did you do at that job? So for example, I have this first one right here that says football player. Okay, so I have a football player. That's the job title. That was the job that the person did. They were a football player. Now you can get more specific if you want to put like linebacker or whatever. That's totally fine. The football player is enough. And then you're going to tell me who the employer was. The employer is going to be the high school because you were on the high school team. If it's not the high school team, then you could put, like Bengals, Wasco Parks and Rec. And then the head coach is Chad Martinez, who is a teacher on campus. So his phone number for the school has been listed. That's the top part. Job title, employer, supervisor, and then phone number. Okay, and then at the bottom, you're going to put how long have you been, for this example, how long have you been a football player? Now, most of you are freshmen, so it's just going to be this year. So you would put this school year, which is 2020 to 2021. That's the school year that we are in. And then you could put fall season because you were only a football player part of the year. And then in Wasco, California. There, second line done. You're telling me how long and then where. Okay, the second part is where you need to give me a 1 to 2 sentence summary of all the job duties that you did as a football player. So, attended daily football practice to hone skills and support team, learn team building and leadership skills. You can keep going. It's up to you, but it doesn't have to be like an entire paragraph. It just needs to be a basic summary so we have an idea. And by we, I mean the employer has an idea of what you did there for that person. Even if like the job title is very conspicuous and like, like who doesn't know what a football player does, right? You just have to assume that they don't know what the job was and you're telling them what you did. So there's one example. Okay, and then you're going to do another example. So, like, you can list a club, you can list a job you did on the side, you can list babysitting, mowing lawns, chores. Let's say you haven't done any of the other things, but you do chores at home. So, for your job title, you're going to do, let's do house cleaner. Okay, because you're doing chores. Your employer is going to be your parents or guardians. And then the supervisor, just pick one of your parents and put their name. So I'm going to make up a name. My dad's name is Rem. So I'm going to put Rem. And then you're going to either put a phone number and email. You don't have to put both. You can just put one. Okay. So then you'll put a phone number right there. Then you're going to tell me how many years you've been doing that. Now, most of you have probably been doing chores since you were little. So just guesstimate. Let's say you've been doing chores since you were 7, you're 14, so 7 years. So we're going to put 7 years. So right now it's 2020 minus 7 is 2013. It's 2013 to present. Present means like you're still employed there. You're still doing the job. You haven't left. You put a final year if it's going to end at a certain time. So like up here, you can fix this. It's just when I did this resume, it was next semester in the future. So you could still do present if you're like in football right now, and like COVID messed things up. So like I get it. So let's just fix this. Let's just fix it because like COVID. We're gonna do 2020 to present. Okay. And then a 1 to 2 sentence summary of job duties. So you're gonna go through and just kind of. You just have to be careful with the formatting. See what happened there? You just need to tell me really quick, like, what are the chores that you do? Taking out the trash, washing dishes, loading the dishwasher, babysitting maybe siblings, vacuuming, sweeping, mopping, scrubbing toilets, whatever it is that you do for chores, you're going to list it out there. Okay, remember it's 1 to 2 sentences and it needs to be in a somewhat complete sentence like I did here. Okay. Then when you're done with the experience, you're going to come down to the education section. Now, on here, we are listing the middle school. We did it on the application, but we are doing it here on the resume. So you're going to just fill in and change some of this stuff because I already pre-filled it for you. You're currently enrolled in Wasco High School. We're going to change the year to 2020 to present. And then you're going to list out a couple of things that you have going on for your education right now. So you can list your GPA. I only suggest you list it if it is a 3.0 or above. Okay. If it's below a 3.0, don't even put it. Okay. Because then it's like a C average. So 3.0 and above, you can list it. That's totally fine. Then you can list out any clubs or sports that you're involved in, school activities like ASB and things, or anything else you did in school, including advanced or honors courses, if any of you happen to be in honors courses, WACAP, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to just quickly tell me in a sentence like what's going on in high school for you right now. And then you're going to come down to Thomas Jefferson Middle School. Now, I realize some of you may have not gone to TJ, you may have gone to a different one, just change the information as you need. So this is going to actually be one more year because we are in 2020. I used this last year. That's why the years are off. And then you're going to, again, tell me what you did in middle school. If you were involved in sports, clubs, activities, whatever. If you happen to know what your GPA is, you can list it. If you don't even worry about it. It's totally fine. Like maybe you got perfect attendance, student of the month, because like we don't do those awards in high school. Then you can list that all out there. And then now we're getting to the awards section. So in this part, we're just listing achievements. So like I just said, maybe you got honor roll, maybe you got perfect attendance, student of the month, maybe you got MVP, maybe other curricular things like maybe for church, maybe for outside clubs like Bengals, Parks and Rec, like maybe you played recreational sports. You could, I dare say, even list a few achievements from that you're really proud of from like your regular home life. Like maybe you hold like a record for a video game or something. Just any type of award or achievement that you are proud of that you can list on here. And if you're like, oh, I don't know anything, like there's something. There is something. If you absolutely have no awards, then you need to ask me either by email or in class, and then we'll figure out what to put in this section because we'll have to modify it to a different category. Not a problem. Okay. And then now we're on the final section, which is references. So references, again, this time, you're going to do 4. You're going to list them out. I suggest, again, doing teachers, coaches, things like that. And I'll fix the formatting in a second. I just want it to match the application. So you're going to follow the format again, same as before. Name, contact information. So the contact information, you can either put phone number or email address, relationship. I put some examples there. You can list me as the first one. Just to get it out of the way, Joanna Bellis, and then you'll put the school phone number and then that I'm a teacher. Okay, so you can go ahead and fill that out. Once you are done with this section, with this resume, go ahead and submit in Google Classroom so that way I can grade it. This is worth 100 points.